concerned, Mr. President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning? Could that be a
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. I love the inflation. I love the inflation.
That tracks because inflation is a wealth multiplier for people who own everything. If you own $1 billion in assets and inflation goes up 4% in 1 year, you just made $40 million without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, everyone else is watching groceries, rent, and gas eat their paychecks alive. And this is one of the fundamental flaws with capitalism. And if your tiny mind is telling you that, oh, well, everybody should just invest in things, then you don't know how capitalism works. Because capitalism needs a separation between people who own everything and people who work for wages. If everybody became an investor, the system would break because capitalism requires labor to be cheaper than the capital. If everybody invested and lived off of the returns, then who would be left to grow the food or teach the kids or drive the trucks or maintain anything? Do you really think people are going to be willing to clean up shit in the hospital because they like it? For capitalism to function, most people must not own assets. Wages must stay low and profits must stay high, and owners must have labor that's cheaper than capital. If everybody invested, wages would have to rise dramatically to draw workers in because nobody wants to work anymore. And that would shrink profits and it would shrink the returns and the whole system would destabilize. And this is why something has to be done about capitalism. I'm not necessarily anti-capitalism, okay? What I am is anti anything that causes suffering. And I think most people can agree with that. When prices rise, the owners get wealthier and the poor get squeezed. Inflation isn't a bug in the system. It is a feature of capitalism that rewards the people at the top. So the next logical question is, why would anybody at the top want inflation to come down? And more importantly, why would anybody at the bottom or middle or even upper middle want to elect anybody at the top? When inflation rises, the elite's balance sheets rise too. They inflate too. And the elite own everything. Wages rarely keep pace with inflation, which means that workers' buying power decreases. And this creates a structural imbalance. Inflation becomes a profit engine. You don't need to pay workers. You don't need to own equipment. You don't need to manage anything. All you have to do is sit there. And it becomes a cost burden for everybody else. So when Trump says he loves inflation, what he's saying is when the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, he loves it. It's free money for the billionaires and a pay cut for everybody else. The U.S. just hit $40 trillion in debt. We still have 2.4 years left of Donald Trump's miserable leadership. He's already responsible for 11 trillion of that debt. And by the end of his presidency, he will be responsible for 17 trillion. That's over 40% of all of the debt in America. But he's still convincing people that he's the one who can fix it, right? It's time for everybody to wake up. This isn't working. Be excellent to each other and maybe stop celebrating the system that profits off of everyone else's suffering.